Medicine Wheel is an ancient path to becoming a man or a woman of wisdom and power. It follows the four cardinal directions of the earth: the south, the west, the north, and the east. The Andean Medicine Wheel, which is what I trained in and what is practiced in the Andean region in South America, begins with the south. In North America, for example, the wheels begin with the east, with the place of the rising sun. But in the wheel that we'll be practicing, we begin in the south because that's the only still point in the southern sky. Each one of the directions has an archetypal power animal that represents the qualities and the gifts that you will receive as you visit each one of the directions. So the south is the way of the serpent and it's the way of the healer. In the south, you learn to shed your past the way that the serpent sheds her skin, which is all at once, and not the way that we like to do it in the West, in North America and in Europe, which is by taking one scale off at a time, and especially that scale that's really stuck so that we can feel something. So we don't deal with individual issues with what happened to me when I was 3, or my childbirth, or my mother's trauma, or my father's insecurity. We deal with the whole skin all at once. And then all of those themes and stories fall off by the wayside as well. If you take them on one scale at a time, you're going to be spending the rest of this lifetime working on yourself. You want to be able to recover your soul, to find your strength, and to find your path as a healer and as someone who can help to dream the world into being. Otherwise, you will remain in the place of the victim for decades. The serpent is a universal symbol. You find it in every culture. In the East, it's the serpent of the Kundalini. In the West, in the biblical stories, it's the serpent that brought us the fruit of the tree of wisdom, of knowledge, of good and evil. Even in Western medicine, the caduceus of medicine has 2 serpents intertwined that acquire wings at the very top. And that's the symbol of the modern medical doctor. The serpent is portrayed in ancient stories as the Ouroboros, as eating his own tail. And this is the serpent that is unconscious, that is consuming itself, which is what happens to us when we don't have a clear path for healing. We begin to consume ourselves, to eat ourselves up. So the way of the serpent is a way of shedding the past, the way that she sheds her skin, and feeling that soft, new pink underbelly, and having our belly always on the belly of the mother. And it's called the path of beauty because here we discover that we came to this world to bring beauty to the world, to touch everyone we touch with beauty. From the south direction and the serpent, we turn to the west, which is the place of the setting sun. And the power animal there is the jaguar, the black jaguar with black spots. The jaguars, the feline, is an archetype all through the Americas. In North America, you have the cougar and the puma, and then the tigrillo in Mexico, and then the jaguars of South America. So the feline actually represents that journey beyond death. It's the ability and the quality to be able to journey deep into the rainforest, into those places that no one dares to go to, so that you can discover what lays hidden in the shadows. The jaguar is not afraid of the shadows. Many years ago, we had a retreat center in the Amazon, and it took us 2 days hiking to get there in the middle of the rainforest. And whenever we did ceremony, the jaguars would come to visit. They would stay about 100 or 200 feet away, but you could hear them at the edge of the river. They were attracted to the energy and the ceremonies that we were doing. So the jaguar teaches us to live fearlessly in these times of tremendous fear, and to be able to leap between the worlds, to be able to journey consciously into our next destiny and destination beyond death. I remember years ago asking a medicine woman, what is it with all of this shamanic teaching? I mean, there's so much to learn, and what's the purpose of it? And she said to me, the purpose of the shamanic medicine is to learn how to get out of this life alive. And I said, okay, sign me up. Sign me up. And this is jaguar medicine, the medicine of fearlessness in a time of great fear and of great cowardice. So many people refuse to speak the truth or stand up for the truth because of fear. So we break free from the grip of fear. And fear is the greatest enemy of the shaman. And the minute that we do, we're able to step beyond death. We know the way back home without having to lose our bodies. From the west direction, we move to the north. And in the north, we discover Hummingbird and the medicine of Hummingbird. Hummingbird teaches us to have stillness even in the middle of flight. Hummingbirds are so extraordinary, they're so quick, and they're not even designed for flight. But they also teach us the ways of the great journey, of the hero's journey. And hummingbirds migrate. They will actually go from Brazil to Canada every year and come back. And they're not even supposed to be able to fly. But they don't sit around saying, well, are we going to get any flowers to suck on along the way? What if we run out of honey? No, they go on the great journey. They hear the call from spirit and they embark on it. And they learn to drink only from the nectar of flowers. They no longer feed on the garbage. They don't get any satisfaction on working on their horrible stuff, because they've done that already in the south. And the north is about receiving the nectar of abundance and of bliss and of joy that the universe has to offer you. Now, I had such bad training in psychology, working on myself all the time, that even when I came to the north direction in the medicine wheel, my hummingbird would always stop by the compost heap to see what was putrefying and what was so stinky on the way to the flowers. It took a lot of training for me to go for the beauty, to go for the nectar, as it does for so many of us. I remember this great quote attributed to Nelson Mandela, where he says that it's not our darkness that scares us the most. It's our immense light and beauty that most terrifies us. And this is what we do in the hummingbird direction. We receive hummingbird medicine, we respond to the calling, and we embark on the epic journey. And there's no return. From the north, we go to the east to the way of the eagle. And the way of the eagle is the way of the visionary. The ability to see the details like the eagle does. It can be 3,000 meters up in the sky and see a little mouse scurrying in the bush below, while at the same time noticing the curvature of the earth. The eagle knows the big picture. It doesn't get stuck in the little stuff. The eagle finds no obstacles. When an eagle runs into an obstacle, she simply flies higher, rises above it. So the way of the east is the way of dreaming the world into being, of understanding that we came here not only to grow corn, but to grow gods, like my mentor said to me one time. That we came here not only to heal, but to become an extraordinary human, to be able to put on our own wings, to bring out our own wings so that we could fly wing to wing with the Great Spirit. So this is the calling of the East, to open our eyes, to practice vision, and to know that Vision is not a one-way street. You're not only perceiving things from the outside in, but vision is also going out into the world. That whatever vision you hold about the nature of the world and the nature of reality, the universe will prove you right. It will become so. It will become true. And this is how we dream the world into being. And the medicine wheel is not static. It's not two-dimensional. It's actually multidimensional, and it's more of a spiral. So the next time you go through the wheel, it won't be about your healing only. It'll be about the healing of the entire earth. It'll become the wisdom wheel. But first, we have to heal ourselves. Find the beauty way, shed the past. Drop the fear, step beyond fear and beyond death. Step into the wisdom teachings in the north direction. The practices of mastering time, of invisibility, of becoming invisible, disappearing. So you're no longer there obstructing creation. So you become like the poet Rumi says when he speaks about the two lovers, that there's no longer a lover and a loved, there's only the kiss, where you vanish completely into your divinity. And then come back and bring that into the world as a caretaker of the earth, as an earth keeper, and the way of the East of dreaming the world into being. Thank you for beginning this journey with me. This is such an ancient way, such an ancient path, and so relevant and important for us today in our world.